Hello and welcome back to another video on the rest of the way and to another edition of NXT 2.0 out of 10. And yeah, it's a big show today. We're getting closer and closer to Halloween Havoc, believe it or not. It's only a few weeks away. And yeah, like I said, there's going to be lots going on in this show. And we kicked it off in a big way with Dragunov and said that he'd already beaten one unstoppable machine, referring to Gunther, and added that he's looking to do it once more, beating Braun. McDonough interrupts the promo and said that he would end Ilya's career if he tried to get between him and the NXT title before Braun joined him as well. JD said he wanted to face Braun after Breaker and Ilya beat each other up, but the champ proposed a triple threat match as NXT continued. It seems like that's the direction we're heading in. Yeah, I mean, like, no issues with that for me. I would have either, probably like any of those combinations I would have liked. Yeah, shame we're not getting Braun versus Ilya in a singles match, but it's only going to be even better with JD added in it as well, so no complaints from me. But anyway, backstage, Brutus and Jensen were in the middle of the brawl while Gallas were security tried to separate them and break them up. Before it's time for Mandy Rose versus Fallon Henry. Mandy started strong and got a near fall off a cartwheel splash before mocking Fallon. Henley then came out with a big lariat and Rose got a fall away slam before locking in an abdominal stretch. Henley broke the hold and got the X Factor for a near fall before getting a big forearm and a kick. Mandy recovered first and rushed Henley after a jumping knee strike, picking up the W. And Jet gets 6 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I mean, like, kind of just felt like a match was there. I mean, it did its job, I suppose. Mandy gets a win, which is the obvious decision, so 6 out of 10. Dragunov then ran into Jai and Quinn on NXT backstage and they set up a match for later on before it's time for Wesley versus Tony D. Lee sent him out of the ring right off the bat and Stacks tried to hype up the boss at ringside as the match continued. Lee tried for a top rope move, but Stacks got in the way before Lee took him out instead before rolling him into the ring and mocking him. Stacks was furious and rushed the ring, but instead of being a DQ, Stacks was eliminated from ringside. The match continued as D dropped Lee with a tilt-a-whirl slide slam. Lee then hit a drop toe hard on the turnbuckles and it seemed that D'Angelo was unable to get out due to an injury in the corner and the ref stopped the match. Yeah, hopefully it's not a legitimate injury, but it seems to hopefully be part of the storyline. But yeah, it gets 6 out of 10 from me. Would have liked to see a conclusion. But you know, for what we saw, it was pretty decent, I suppose. Carmelo Hayes was then backstage on NXT with Rory Mincer and we saw some trash talking before they hyped up the ladder match at Halloween Havoc before we got to see a day in life pretty deadly and it mostly involved them looking in the mirror, brushing their hair and picking out outfits. But anyway, then it's time for Soul Rucker versus Amari Miller. Newcomer Rucker started off strong, got a submission hold, looked early on, but Miller reversed out of it and got a big move for a near fall. Soul then tried to get away, but a flip was dropped. Soul then got an X Factor and a sunset flip for a near fall before being a drop kick, but was taken down with the head scissors. Rucker then hit another big drop kick before getting a handstand strike and a flying leg drop for the victory. And Jack gets 6 out of 10 from me. Did its job, got her over in her first match, which I suppose was the intention. So yeah, like I say, you can't really complain with that one. Did its job, 6 out of 10. It was then time for a bit of a grudge match. Cameron Grimes versus Gacy. Grimes took a big beating early on and left the ring before the dive got in the way of Grimes' kick distracting. Gacy then grounded Grimes, but after the distraction, but got a near fall off a big DDT. Back in the ring, Grimes got a few big kicks before setting up the cave-in, but failed to capitalise. Dive ran the distraction and allowed Gacy to get the handspring lariat in the corner, picking up the win. And Jack gets 7 out of 10 from me. Decent enough match. Gacy won pretty comfortably, maybe more comfortably than I was expecting, to be honest, but you know, I guess it ties in, and Grimes will get his revenge at a later date, so 7 out of 10, did its job. Grayson Waller was then backstage and said that he was nervous about Apollo Crews while revealing that his guests for the next week's show would be Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. Seems like that view could be continuing. Before it got Nikita Lyons versus Caden Carter. Carter started off strong and two were able to counter each other early on before Caden grounded Lyons and got a quick near fall. Lyons then managed to hit a big Rana out of the corner and locked in a submission hold as the match went on. Carter took a big beat on a Michinoku drive before Lyons got a near fall. Carter got a double drop kick through the ropes before going up to the top, but Lyons dropped her. Lyons followed it up with a spinning kick and the split pin, picking up the victory. And Jack gets 7 out of 10 from me. I mean, like, pretty solid stuff. Decent match, I guess the right result. Nikita Lyons just kind of building her up again. So yeah, did its job fine. But anyway, Andre Chase then gave a speech to his students about going on to win the North American title. One of the students dared to doubt Andre and got yelled at before everyone chanted "Chase you," and NXT moved on to Ilya Dragunov versus Jai and Quinn. Quinn had the early advantage and got a few near falls, but took a big kick to the side of the head before getting caught with a huge slam. Ilya then got a backbreaker and a splash before the two men slapped each other as a show of disrespect. Dragunov then got some German suplexes before the crowd crowd started going wild and chanting his name. Dragunov came in with a falling forearm before getting the running European uppercut, picking up the victory. And yeah, 7 out of 10. I think this really showed what Dragunov can do, and yeah, just got me hyped more and more for seeing him on NXT, because yeah, he's just going to be great there. So yeah, 7 out of 10 from me. Very, very solid stuff. Yeah, just so pleased Dragunov is in NXT now. But anyway, it's time for Damon Kemp versus Brutus Caden. Brutus and Kemp started brawling before the match even started, and they brawled their way back to the ring before the bell was rung. Kemp had his opponent in control of a headlock before Brutus powered through and tossed the guy around the ring. The match went outside and Kemp attacked Brutus with a steel chair, causing a DQ. Kemp then kept attacking Brutus with a chair and yelling on the camera before a group of officials came out on NXT to stop the fight. Yeah, gets 6 out of 10 from me. It wasn't bad, but I don't know, I just felt like we get a little bit more of this, but you know, Damon Kemp snapping, it kind of does make sense in the storyline, and kind of what we suspected direction. But anyway, Leons and Stark ran into the toxic attraction backstage and traded the some smack talk before Mandy Rose threatened Joey since they were outnumbered. Fire came out of nowhere and joined Leons and Stark, setting up a future 6-way match. But anyway, it's in time for Briggs and Jensen versus Gallas in a pub rules match on NXT. The two teams started brawling right off the bat, and trash cans came into play early before Gallas took a table and Briggs and Jensen brought one of their own. Briggs and Jensen then took Gallas down with steel chairs and sent them out of the ring before we headed for a break. Back on the show, Gallas were wiping away at Briggs and Jensen with belts, but the former UK tag champs managed to power through and take the weapons away before hitting Gallas with it instead. Briggs and Jensen then smashed glasses on top of their opponents' heads before Coffee showed up and got kicked off the apron. They put one of Gallas through a table in the corner before putting a trash can on the head of the other before getting their finisher for the win. Gallas then started the big brawl with security and officials and punched some of them down. Policemen then came out and handcuffed the trio before dragging them away as NXT went off the air. And yeah, Gallas now suspended. I guess it did add like another dimension to this. And yeah, definitely leads to an interesting future direction. So this gets 7 out of 10 for me. Really, really fun match as well. So on the whole, good stuff. 7 out of 10. Yeah, overall this week NXT gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I mean, like, really enjoyable show this one. 7 out of 10. Yeah, some matches there that weren't quite significant, but some that really were, and yeah, definitely very on some storylines. So yeah, on the whole, a very, very decent show. 7 out of 10. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, don't forget to comment down below and follow us. Thanks so much for daily wrestling news and subscribe to our channel on screen. That would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.